Hi, in this video we are going to continue the creation of the multi-page web application. This is a list of suggestions how you should use this video. The notes for this video can be found at this URL, which is loaded here, and the code for this video can be found starting here. Okay, create database. We created that in the previous videos, and now we are going to do the rest of the coding. Okay, the output of this video. Okay, first, before we move on, let's make sure a couple of things. Let's make sure that our IIS is running. So come here and say I want to start my IIS. Okay, number one. Number two, I want to make sure that my Microsoft SQL Server is running. So go to Services, go to SQL Server. Okay, make sure it's running. If it's stopped, you start it again. Okay, I changed them to manual so they will not automatically start, but if these services are stopped, for any reason, make sure you start them again. So when I say services, I'm talking about SQL Server, SQL Server Browser, and SQL Server VSS Writer. So just to be safe, we switch on these two as well. So okay, so make sure they are running. And let me show you the output of this project, what we actually try to achieve. At the end of all the videos, we should be able to build a website that looks like this. Okay, and it can pull information from a database. And the database server, let's just log into the SQL Server 2014 Management Studio. And I think you still remember the password for the super user. Password is root pass. We did that. We created that in the previous videos. So if you go in, you look at database. Kung Fu Panda Shop is our database name, and we have two tables. One is the categories table. One is the products table. Okay, and this information is pulled from the product name from the product name column of the products table, and it is shown here. Okay, so I created a URL here just to show you how it looks like. So we're going to do this together. Okay. Alright, so we have our IIS running, we have our SQL Server running, and we can access the SQL Server using the Management Studio. So the next thing we want to do is to start the creation of this. And in our CTEM, MySPNet, we created a folder called eg002. So we are going to build this application in eg002 subfolder. Alright, let us open Visual Studio. So we are running Community 2015 edition version. So open Visual Studio 2015 Community, and we are going to create a new website. So we say we go to File, New, Website, and we are going to do a ASP.NET empty website. Browse the CTEM MySPNet eg002 folder. So that's the folder we want to where we want to create a website, and then you say OK. Alright, because the folder is there, I will say that I want to create a new website in the existing location. Okay. And a file with the name web config already. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I want to replace it. Okay, so what happened is at this location, I used IIS to create an application in the previous videos. So there's a web config file there. So I want the Visual Studio to override it. All right, before we move on, we are going to create a couple of subfolders to organize stuff. So eg002, we are going to create a folder called app underscore code. App underscore data. Images. Styles. Okay. And then we go back to Visual Studio. Here we can right click and say I want to refresh folder. So all the subfolders are here. And if you expand this, you can look at a web debug config file as well. Okay, now we need to download a couple of images for that. So let's go to our website here. And I want to pull the images into the images subfolder. So I open an images subfolder here, and I say I want to download the images, open them, and the images are in the folder called products. So I'm just going to drag the products here. So there will be eg002 images, products, and the images are there. Okay. Alright, the next I want to download the style sheets into the styles table. So let's come over here and say I want to download the style sheet. Oh, no, wrong place. Download the style sheet into eg002 styles subfolder. If you open the styles subfolder, so this is a style sheet that I'm going to use to format my ASP.NET page. So if you need to build this, you can build this before or during or after, the process of building the .NET. But I built it before, so it's easier for me. Okay. All right. So we have the styles. Let's go back to Visual Studio. Let's refresh this. Okay, so you see the changes here. All right, so that's the first step to achieve our output. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. Of course, if you go to, well, that's a good place to stop. In the next video, we are going to continue. Okay, thanks for watching.